Greetings, Warriors Nation. It's great to have you back at Warriors News Fan Report, where we deliver the most electrifying Golden State updates straight to your screens. Right off the bat, do us a favor. Tap that like icon and smash the subscribe button so you're always front and center when history unfolds in blue and gold. Now, let's get into tonight's jaw-dropping speculation. Because word on the hardwood is that the Chicago Bulls' versatile forward Patrick Williams may already be packing his bags for the Bay Area. Yes, you heard that correctly. Whispers are swirling that Williams, the 6'6" athletic marvel who's earned praise for his two-way potential in Chicago, could soon be suiting up alongside Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green under Steve Kerr's championship system. But before we drop the full bombshell on what this means, lean in and let's unpack the layers of how such a seismic shift might come together, because this isn't your ordinary off-season shuffle. Picture this: the Warriors' front office, ever vigilant for that next piece to solidify a powerhouse roster, scouts a budding talent who blends defensive versatility, youth, and untapped upside. That talent? Patrick Williams, the former first-round pick whose 3-and-D skill set has been on full display over his first 3 NBA seasons. He's logged crucial minutes guarding the opposition's best wings, shown flashes of shooting range beyond the arc, and demonstrated a remarkable capacity to absorb contact at the rim. Could this be the missing ingredient to balance Golden State's offense with fresh defensive tenacity? Fans are already buzzing with questions. Could Williams' length and lateral quickness finally shore up a small forward spot that's seen its share of lineup experiments? Is it possible that pairing him with the Splash Brothers could create a dynamic pick-and-pop threat no defense can ignore? The rumor mill really whirred into overdrive after recent reports identified the Warriors as prime suitors for sign-and-trade candidates out of Chicago. League insiders suggest that Golden State has eyes on adding a young difference-maker without parting with too much of their cherished draft capital. Remember last summer, when whispers linked Jonathan Kuminga to the Warriors through proposed sign-and-trade maneuvers? Well, this time the trail leads to Williams, whose contract situation and youth profile make him a tantalizing trade target. According to sources, the Bulls face a crossroads. Do they invest in their own young core, or do they leverage Williams' value to accumulate veteran help and future picks? Some executives believe Chicago might view a package centered around Williams as the perfect currency to bring back proven rotation pieces, an approach that aligns with their win-now mentality. Now, imagine the flavor of a potential Warriors-Bulls exchange. Golden State could offer a blend of mid-first-round picks, perhaps in 2027 and 2029, alongside a salary-matching veteran like Nemanja Bjelica or Otto Porter Jr. to sweeten the deal for Chicago. Throw in a protected 2028 first paired with a young role player, and you have a blueprint that could tempt the Bulls' brass. But would that satisfy the demands of a front office seeking immediate roster upgrades? Some insiders believe the hurdle might be too steep, while others whisper that Chicago's recent playoff disappointments could make them more amenable to retooling their wing rotation. Let's not forget the personal chemistry angle. Williams and Curry have crossed paths at various off-season camps, forging a rapport that some say could flourish in a shared locker room. Could the veteran leadership of Curry and Thompson help unlock Williams' full two-way potential? Fans, imagine late-night shooting sessions at the facility, Williams grabbing rebounds off Curry's deep triples, then trading alley-oop lobs in every practice drill. Is it too fanciful to picture Williams becoming the glue defender who propels the Warriors' championship aspirations to new heights? Of course, adding Williams would require delicate salary cap choreography. Golden State already juggles luxury tax implications after maxing out its four-horseman core. Sources indicate that Warriors executives are exploring sign-and-trade, provisions to absorb Williams under his rookie-scale deal, while offloading expiring contracts to create the necessary room. They might execute buyouts for veterans with limited long-term roles and deploy the stretch provision to soften cap hits across future seasons. Each decision carries risk, shedding locker room staples, disrupting veteran continuity, and, potentially, trimming depth. Yet, when you weigh these sacrifices against landing a 23-year-old forward who can guard positions 1 through 4 and stretch the floor, many believe the gamble is worth contemplating. Stepping onto the court of speculation, envision a starting 5 of Curry, Thompson, Williams, Green, and Andrew Wiggins. Now add bench firepower from Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, and a reinvigorated Otto Porter Jr. Suddenly, Golden State's lineup is a malleable chessboard, capable of opening games with a lethal perimeter barrage, then switching seamlessly to lockdown mode on defense. Could that kind of versatility vault the Warriors past the Los Angeles Lakers and Phoenix Suns as the frontrunners in the West? Some insiders argue that Williams' addition addresses the team's historic Achilles heel, a need for a consistent, switchable forward who can counter the league's rising athletic wing threats. Meanwhile, across the Western Conference, contenders would be sending emissaries to their negotiators, concerned that Golden State is quietly assembling another super team. Los Angeles might hammer its front office to pull the trigger on their own blockbuster, while the Suns' backcourt masterminds scramble to shore up front-court depth. The ripple effects would be profound, each franchise forced to reevaluate its roster-building strategy, from rookie-scale bargains to expiring contract pursuits. The NBA landscape, already in constant flux, could shift dramatically if the Warriors successfully land Williams without mortgaging their future picks. But let's pump the brakes ever so slightly. Winning championships is about more than stacking talent. It's about culture, chemistry, and buy-in. Can a young player like Patrick Williams adapt to Steve Kerr's motion system, where pass-first instincts reign supreme? Will the existing core embrace a fresh face vying for touches and defensive responsibilities? History shows that even the most promising trades can falter if roles aren't clearly defined. Could the introduction of Williams disrupt the intricate dance between Curry and Thompson, or would it inject the exact defensive spark needed to reignite Golden State's title run? As we near the end of this first segment, consider this. If the Warriors manage to navigate the complexities of salary cap maneuvering, draft pick negotiations, and locker room integration to bring Patrick Williams into the fold, they could very well redefine the blueprint for superstar development. And yet, if even one piece of this multifaceted puzzle falls out of place, be it Chicago's refusal to budge on pick protections or the mishandling of veteran buyouts, the entire prospect could collapse into a cautionary tale. Stay tuned, Warriors Nation, because in Part 2, we'll dissect the precise trade package permutations, the cap sheet alchemy required, and how this blockbuster would reverberate through every team's championship calculations. Until then, keep the faith, keep the chatter alive, and let the speculation fuel your excitement for what could be the most pivotal offseason in Warriors history. If you're as fired up as I am, hit that like button and subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report so you never miss a single play-by-play on this potential blockbuster move. Now, let's unravel exactly how Golden State could pull off the trade for Patrick Williams and what it means for the entire league. First, imagine the front offices of both teams locked in at the negotiating table, numbers and projections flashing across their screens. On one side sits the Warriors' brain trust, determined to add youth, defense, and future upside without mortgaging the soul of the franchise. On the other, the Bulls must decide whether to double down on veteran help for an immediate playoff push or embrace a longer-term rebuild centered around draft assets. Sources suggest that Golden State could offer their 2027 first-round pick unprotected, paired with the protected 2029 selection, and a salary-matching veteran such as Otto Porter Jr. or Nemanja Bjelica. In return, Chicago would send Williams' rookie-scale contract, his two-way defensive versatility, and the promise of a rising star who can grow within Steve Kerr's motion offense. This balance of youth and draft capital could persuade the Bulls to part with their breakout wing. Next, consider the salary cap gymnastics required to pull off such a maneuver. The Warriors already hover near the luxury tax threshold after locking up their core to max deals. To absorb Williams under his rookie contract, Golden State would likely execute a sign-and-trade that brings back matching salary while shedding expiring veteran contracts. Names like Otto Porter Jr. or even veteran centers with minimal future roles could agree to buyouts, creating the necessary cap room. Another tool could be the stretch provision, allowing the Warriors to distribute a veteran's remaining salary cap hit across several seasons. Each of these moves carries risk, losing seasoned locker room voices, trimming rotational depth, and altering the payroll structure. Yet, when weighed against landing a 23-year-old defender who can guard positions 1 through 4 and stretch the floor with a developing three-point shot, many believe the sacrifice is justified. On the court, envision the seamless integration of Williams into Golden State's system. Picture Stephen Curry initiating yet another electric possession, defenders forced to chase him through screens before spotting Williams popping out for a three or crashing the rim for a powerful finish. Draymond Green would continue to serve as the defensive anchor and primary facilitator, reading opponent rotations and delivering pinpoint passes that exploit mismatches. Klay Thompson, relentless in his catch-and-shoot role, would draw defenses out, creating driving lanes for Williams to attack closeouts or settle into mid-range pull-ups. This four-pronged attack could transform the Warriors into an even more unguardable juggernaut, but chemistry matters just as much as talent. Patrick Williams, coming from a rebuilding Bulls roster, would need to adapt to a team culture steeped in championship experience. Sources close to the Warriors indicate that both parties have engaged in early conversations about role expectations. Williams would be encouraged to leverage his defensive prowess immediately, while his offensive game would evolve under the tutelage of Kerr and his veteran teammates. The mentorship dynamic could resemble how Curry and Thompson guided Andrew Wiggins, smoothing his transition from a raw talent to a reliable contributor. Could Williams' growth trajectory mirror that success? Fans are hoping so, envisioning him as the missing locker room spark and paint protector that boosts Golden State's title odds. Meanwhile, the ripple effects across the Western Conference would be immediate and profound. The Lakers, fresh off their own offseason shakeup, would suddenly find their projected title window narrowed by a Warriors roster now boasting 4 distinct all-star caliber defenders and shooters. Phoenix, armed with a dynamic backcourt pairing, would have to shore up its frontcourt to keep pace, or risk watching their championship aspirations slip away. Even up-and-coming squads like the Timberwolves or Nuggets would need to reevaluate their roster construction, knowing that Golden State's blueprint of championship continuity and youth infusion could set a new standard for building contenders. Off. The hardwood, social media hysteria would reach fever pitch. Dub Nation Twitter accounts would erupt with mock-up jerseys pairing Williams' name with Warriors gold, while Instagram fan pages spin highlight reels of his defensive blocks and turnaround jumpers. Podcasts would host countless debates. Is this the keystone that cements the Warriors' dynasty, or does it gamble away too much of their future flexibility? National analysts would weigh in, some lauding the move as visionary, others cautioning that even the greatest super teams can stumble when adding a new star midstream. After all, history has shown that the integration of a high-usage, high-impact player can either propel a legacy or create friction that derails expectations. And then there's the luxury tax ledger. Golden State's ownership has shown a willingness to open the checkbook for championship pursuits, but every dollar spent impacts the bottom line. Executives must balance the desire for immediate glory against the financial sustainability of the franchise. Would the added tax penalties be offset by increased revenue, higher ticket prices, merchandise sales, global branding, or would they strain the budget for future roster moves? These are the debates playing out behind closed doors as the Warriors' front office crunches the numbers in pursuit of perfection. As the trade chatter intensifies, Chicago faces its own crossroads. The Bulls' front office must decide. Is reinvesting in veteran talent the quickest path back to contention, or does capitalizing on Williams' value now, before his contract escalates, offer the best long-term blueprint? If they choose the latter, the draft assets gained could be used to acquire multiple prospects or packaged in future deals, potentially sparking a rebuild that yields sustained success. But fans in the Windy City, eager for playoff returns, might view such a decision as too cautious or disloyal to a young talent with championship potential. At the heart of all this lies the essence of competition, the drive to assemble the most potent mix of talent, culture, and financial strategy to hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy. If Golden State executes this trade flawlessly, navigating salary cap constraints, preserving locker room chemistry, and integrating Patrick Williams into their championship DNA, they could redefine the modern NBA blueprint. But if any link in this intricate chain falters, whether Chicago holds firm on pick protections, veteran buyouts drag on, or Williams struggles to find his place, the entire narrative could collapse into a cautionary tale of hubris. So, Warriors, Nation, what's your take? Could Patrick Williams be the defensive cornerstone and offensive spark that pushes this team back to the summit? Or does this gamble risk undermining the cohesion that has been Golden State's hallmark? Personally, I'm all in on the excitement. Imagining Williams' hustle plays and the gravity he would add to every possession gets me hyped for next season. Yet, I also respect the delicate balance of championship teams and know that every move must be calculated to near perfection. I can't wait to dive into your opinions in the comments below. If this deep dive got you buzzing, make sure to like, subscribe to Warriors News Fan Report, and ring that notification bell so you're always first to hear about the next big rumor. Until next time, stay golden.